Every day you wake up with two choices: drift through your routine or take full control of who you're becoming. Most people want to grow, to feel better, to do more with their lives, but they don't know where to start. This book gives you a clear path. It's not about doing everything at once or chasing perfection. It's about focusing on 10 simple, powerful things you can work on every single day. These are the habits, the choices, and the actions that shape your mindset, build your discipline, and push your life forward, no matter what you're going through. This isn't a list of tips that you forget tomorrow. It's a real guide to becoming someone stronger, calmer, more focused, and more confident, one day at a time. You'll learn how to build self-discipline by the way you choose your actions. You'll find out how to strengthen your mindset, take care of your body, improve your focus, and grow the kind of inner strength that lasts. Every chapter gives you something real to hold on to: practical steps, honest encouragement, and clear direction. If you're tired of feeling stuck, lost, or overwhelmed, this is for you. If you've been waiting for a sign to finally take control of your life, this is it. Start today. Start small. Start with one thing. And if you stay consistent, these daily habits will change your entire life. This isn't hype, it's truth. Real growth happens in the little things you do every day. You don't need more motivation. You need a plan. This book is your plan. Let's get to work. Chapter 1. Build strong self-discipline by mastering your daily choices. Every day you are faced with 100 choices. Some are small and barely noticeable. Others carry the weight of your future. Most people don't realize that the outcome of their lives isn't shaped by one big decision. It's shaped by the quiet, consistent choices they make each day. What time you wake up, what you do first thing in the morning, what you choose to focus on, whether you exercise or not, how you speak to people, how you respond to pressure. All of these seemingly minor decisions add up. Discipline is not something you are born with. It is something you build. And it's built choice by choice, moment by moment. Strong self-discipline doesn't mean living a life of restriction or punishment. It means taking ownership of your behavior and choosing what aligns with your higher goals instead of temporary feelings. It's saying yes to growth and no to excuses. It's doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. Every time you choose action over avoidance, clarity over confusion, responsibility over blame, you build a little more strength in your discipline muscle. The most important truth about discipline is that it is always your choice. Nobody can force you to get out of bed early. No one can make you eat better, read more, or stay consistent with your goals. This is where your power lies. The ability to decide, and to decide well, belongs to you. The better your daily decisions, the stronger your self-discipline becomes, and the stronger your self-discipline, the more control you gain over your life. Discipline starts the moment your alarm goes off. That first decision to get up or to stay in bed sets the tone for your day. When you choose to get up on time, you tell your mind that you're in charge. You tell your body that your goals matter more than your comfort. And you carry that message with you into every other decision you make that day. People often wait for motivation to show up before they act, but motivation is unreliable. Discipline is what shows up when motivation disappears. It's the quiet strength that says, do it anyway. It doesn't shout. It doesn't need applause. It just moves. One of the most powerful ways to strengthen your discipline is to create a small daily routine that challenges you. This could be something as simple as making your bed as soon as you wake up, or spending 10 minutes journaling every evening. The goal is not the task itself, but the habit of following through. When you commit to a task and follow through daily, even when it's hard, you build credibility with yourself. You start trusting your own word, and that trust is everything. Trust in yourself is the foundation of strong discipline. If you constantly break promises to yourself, you lose that internal confidence. But if you start keeping those promises, no matter how small, you begin to transform. You start showing up differently. You start believing in your ability to stay consistent. This self-trust becomes your anchor, and from that anchor, you make better decisions. The more you act in line with your values and goals, the more powerful and clear-headed you become. It's important to recognize the traps that weaken your discipline. These include procrastination, emotional decision-making, overthinking, and distraction. The biggest lie you can tell yourself is "I'll do it later." That's how dreams die, one postponed action at a time. Procrastination is not laziness, it's a failure to manage your emotions. When something feels uncomfortable or overwhelming, you avoid it. But avoidance is a temporary relief that leads to long-term damage. The antidote is action, even small action. Action builds momentum, and momentum builds discipline. Another trap is decision fatigue. When you make too many unimportant decisions in a day, your mental energy wears down. This is why routines matter. They eliminate unnecessary choices and create space for the important ones. Decide once what time you'll wake up, what your morning routine will look like, and what tasks you'll tackle first. Automate your discipline by removing friction. The fewer obstacles you have to starting something, the more likely you are to stay consistent. Your environment also plays a critical role in your daily discipline. If your phone is the first thing you see in the morning, and you spend the first hour scrolling through noise, your focus will be scattered before your day even begins. But if you begin with silence, reflection, or a task aligned with your goals, you create alignment. Design your environment to support discipline. Keep distractions out of reach. Keep your goals in plain sight. Surround yourself with reminders of who you want to become. It's also essential to define what matters most to you. Discipline without direction leads to burnout. You're not trying to be perfect, you're trying to be intentional. Define your non-negotiables, the things you will do every day no matter what. This could be 30 minutes of reading, a healthy meal, time with your family, or progress on a long-term project. When you know what matters, you stop wasting energy on what doesn't. A key practice in building daily discipline is planning your day the night before. Take 5 minutes each evening to write down your top 3 priorities for the next day. When you wake up, you won't waste time figuring out what to do. You'll already have a mission. Clarity creates momentum. The more clear you are, the more consistent you become. Start your day by executing what matters most, and you will create a rhythm of discipline that compounds over time. Self-discipline also means learning how to say no. Not every opportunity is worth your time. Not every invitation is aligned with your purpose. The ability to say no without guilt is a superpower. It protects your energy, your time, and your values. Every yes is a trade-off. If you say yes to distractions, you say no to progress. If you say yes to comfort, you say no to growth. Know your priorities so clearly that saying no becomes simple. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up. You'll be tired, stressed, or unmotivated. These are the most important days. Anyone can be disciplined when it's easy. True growth happens when it's hard. On those days, shrink the task but never break the chain. If you plan to work out for 30 minutes but feel exhausted, do 10 minutes. If you plan to write a page but feel stuck, write 1 paragraph. What matters is the act of keeping the habit alive. The consistency is more important than the intensity. Discipline is not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. If you break a habit or make a poor choice, acknowledge it without excuses, reflect on it, learn from it, and reset. The path of self-discipline is not a straight line. It's a winding road with ups and downs. What separates disciplined people is not perfection but persistence. They return to their path quickly. They don't let one bad day turn into a bad week. They keep showing up. One powerful way to anchor discipline is by connecting it to your identity. Don't just try to act disciplined, be the kind of person who is disciplined. This shift changes everything. You're not just working out, You're someone who values strength and health. You're not just managing time, you're someone who respects their purpose. When your actions reflect who you want to become, discipline becomes natural. Every choice becomes a vote for that identity. Gratitude also plays a surprising role in discipline. When you are grateful for the opportunity to improve, for the body that allows you to move, for the mind that allows you to learn, discipline becomes less of a burden and more of a privilege. You begin to see your daily routines not as chores but as opportunities. You don't have to do them, you get to do them. This perspective gives you the emotional fuel to stay consistent even when the path is difficult. There is no finish line for self-discipline. It is something you will work on every day for the rest of your life. But the longer you walk this path, the more natural it becomes. It's not about being rigid, it's about being reliable, not just for others but for yourself. When you trust yourself to make the right choice over and over, even when it's hard, you gain a rare kind of peace, a kind of inner freedom. You no longer live at the mercy of moods or distractions, you live by design. Discipline also gives you something most people are chasing: confidence. Not the kind of confidence that comes from words or affirmations, but the kind that comes from proof. When you've shown up day after day, when you've done the work even when it was difficult, you walk differently. You speak with more certainty, you move with quiet strength. That's real confidence, and it can't be faked. In the end, the strongest people aren't those who do the most. They're the ones who do what they said they would do. They keep showing up. They keep choosing growth over comfort. They keep aligning their actions with their values. That's who you're becoming. Not through luck or talent or motivation, but through daily choices. Every morning, the choice is yours. Every moment, the path is available. Discipline is not something distant. It's right here. It starts now, and it builds with every choice you make from this moment forward. Chapter 2. Strengthen your mindset by feeding it with positive thoughts. Your mindset is the foundation of everything you do. It is the lens through which you interpret every experience, every challenge, every success, and every failure. If that lens is clouded by negativity, self-doubt, and fear, your potential becomes limited. Not because you lack ability, but because you've trained your mind to expect the worst. The truth is, your thoughts shape your world. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing the thoughts you allow into your mind every day. A strong mindset is not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about learning to direct your thoughts toward growth, resilience, and self-respect, even when things aren't going your way. Strengthening your mindset begins with feeding it what it needs to stay healthy, just like your body. Negative thoughts, comparisons, regrets, and fear-based narratives are mental junk food. They weaken your resolve and cloud your clarity. Positive thoughts, on the other hand, are like fuel. They build you up, keep you steady, and move you forward. You cannot expect your mind to support you if you constantly allow it to absorb toxic input. The things you read, the people you surround yourself with, the media you consume, all of it feeds your thoughts. If you want to think more clearly and positively, you have to take ownership of what you allow into your mental space. Choose wisely. Protect your focus like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your peace, your progress, your growth. It all begins with the quality of your thoughts. Positive thinking is not blind optimism. It's not about ignoring reality or avoiding problems. It's about choosing to see the opportunity in the challenge. It's about being honest with yourself, but not cruel. You can acknowledge a setback and still believe in your comeback. You can accept failure without accepting defeat. A strong mindset allows you to hold both truth and hope at the same time. It lets you process pain without being owned by it. That's the kind of mental strength that changes lives. Training your mind to think positively is like building a muscle. It requires repetition, consistency, and awareness. The first step is noticing your current thought patterns. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you make a mistake or face uncertainty. Are you supportive or self-critical, encouraging or judgmental? The words you speak internally carry more weight than anything others say about you. You spend every second of your life with yourself. Make sure you are not your own worst enemy. Start shifting your internal dialogue by replacing self-defeating thoughts with self-respecting ones. When your mind says, "I always mess this up," correct it with, "I'm learning, and I'll get better." When it says, "This is too hard," respond with, "I've done hard things before, and I can do this too." This isn't about lying to yourself. It's about guiding your mind away from patterns that weaken you and toward patterns that empower you. Every time you shift a negative thought, you take back control, and the more often you do this, the more natural it becomes. A powerful habit for feeding your mind with positive thoughts is beginning your day with intentional focus. The first thoughts you allow in each morning set the emotional tone for the hours ahead. Instead of grabbing your phone and absorbing the chaos of the world, take a few quiet moments for yourself. Breathe, reflect on your goals, speak to yourself with clarity and strength. A few minutes of positive mental conditioning in the morning can ground you for the entire day. Another practice that strengthens your mindset is surrounding yourself with voices that uplift you. The people you talk to, the content you consume, the books you read. They all shape your inner narrative. Choose mentors, even if you've never met them. Seek out people who speak with courage, clarity, and integrity. Learn from them. Let their strength feed yours. You don't have to figure everything out alone, but you do have to be intentional about who you let influence your mind. Journaling is another effective tool for mental clarity and mindset development. Write down your thoughts daily, not just the good ones, but all of them. See what patterns emerge. Become familiar with your fears, your triggers, your hopes. Journaling creates awareness, and awareness creates change. Once you understand how your mind operates, you can begin to upgrade it. You can start questioning the thoughts that hold you back. You can challenge old stories and write better ones. Mindset is also strengthened by what you choose to focus on throughout the day. Where your attention goes, your energy flows. If you constantly focus on what's missing, what's wrong, or what could go wrong, you will train your brain to live in fear and scarcity. But if you train your attention toward what's working, what you're grateful for, and what you can control, you create a mindset rooted in abundance and confidence. Gratitude isn't just a nice idea, it's a powerful mental reset. Practice it daily. Resilience also comes from a positive mindset. Life will test you, that's a guarantee, but you don't have to let those tests define you. With a strong mind, you can face rejection and keep your self-worth intact. You can face disappointment without losing your direction. You can go through loss without losing yourself. A strong mindset doesn't make life easier, it makes you stronger, and strength isn't given, it's built. One thought at a time. You must also learn to reframe discomfort. Most people run from hard feelings, but if you avoid discomfort, you avoid growth. Positive thinking isn't about avoiding struggle, it's about learning how to interpret it differently. When something is hard, it doesn't mean it's wrong. It often means you're stretching into something new. Your thoughts in those moments matter more than ever. Remind yourself that difficulty is temporary, that challenge is the path, that you are capable of more than you think. Take time to celebrate small wins. Progress builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum. When you acknowledge your own growth, you reinforce a positive internal narrative. Don't wait for someone else to validate you. Validate your own effort. Recognize when you show up, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. The goal is not perfection. The goal is to train your mind to support your journey, not sabotage it. Celebrate movement. Celebrate resilience. Celebrate the fact that you are trying every day to grow. Lastly, be patient with yourself. Strengthening your mindset is not an overnight transformation, it's a lifelong practice. There will be days when negative thoughts are louder than positive ones. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. What matters is that you don't give up on yourself. Keep showing up. Keep choosing thoughts that build you instead of break you. Keep feeding your mind with truth, clarity, and hope, because what you feed grows. And when you feed your mind with strength, your entire life begins to reflect it. Chapter 3. Develop emotional control by practicing calm responses daily. Emotional control is not about suppressing how you feel or pretending to be unaffected by life's challenges. It is the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Each day presents situations that can test your patience, trigger frustration, or stir anxiety. Without emotional discipline, those moments can derail your decisions, damage relationships, and drain your energy. Gaining control over your emotions begins with understanding that your first feeling is not always your final truth. You don't have to act on every emotion that arises. Every time you react without thinking, you give your power away. When you allow anger to dictate your actions, or stress to shape your words, you're no longer in control of your own behavior. But when you pause and choose a calm response, you shift from being controlled by emotion to becoming the one who steers it. This shift requires awareness. You must become conscious of how your body and mind respond in moments of tension. Recognizing the signals, tight shoulders, quick breaths, racing thoughts, helps you create space before you respond. That space is where strength lives. In that moment between stimulus and response, you have the power to choose. You can choose to breathe instead of explode. You can choose to listen rather than defend. You can choose to wait instead of react. These small decisions, made repeatedly over time, transform you. Emotional control is not built in silence or meditation alone. It is built in the heat of everyday moments, when someone disappoints you, when a plan falls apart, when you're misunderstood or criticized. Those are your training grounds. Learning to respond calmly doesn't mean you are weak or indifferent. It means you value peace over drama. It means you understand that not every situation deserves your energy. Some moments simply need your silence. Others require your firmness without aggression. When you master calm responses, you create stability. You become someone who doesn't feed conflict but diffuses it. You bring order into chaos, not by overpowering others, but by mastering yourself. Start your practice in the small moments. When someone cuts you off in traffic, resist the urge to react with irritation. When a colleague makes a mistake, choose clarity over blame. When someone speaks harshly, observe the emotion rising in you but don't let it take over. These daily moments build the skill. You won't always get it right. There will be times when you react and regret it. Learn from those, reflect on what triggered you, how you felt, and what you could have done differently. This is how emotional intelligence grows. Another important part of emotional control is managing your inner dialogue. Often we fuel our own emotional storms with the stories we tell ourselves. We overthink. We assume the worst. We take things personally. These thought patterns intensify emotion and cloud judgment. When you feel a strong emotion, ask yourself what story you're telling in that moment. Then challenge it. Is it completely true? Is there another perspective? Emotional control isn't just about calming your body, it's about calming your mind with truth. Practicing calm responses also involves strengthening your nervous system. Your emotional reactivity is connected to how safe and grounded you feel in your body. Simple habits like deep breathing, regular physical movement, hydration, and sleep help regulate your system. When your body feels safe, your mind can stay clear. A calm body supports a calm mind, and together they support calm action. This is why taking care of your physical health is not separate from emotional control. It's essential to it. Make it a habit to pause before you speak when you feel emotional tension rise. Count to 5. Inhale slowly and deeply. Let your words come from clarity, not intensity. You may find that what you wanted to say in the heat of the moment no longer feels worth saying after you've paused, or you may realize that what needs to be said can be delivered in a way that is honest but not hurtful. Calm communication is powerful because it carries weight without causing harm. It invites understanding instead of resistance. Another powerful practice is emotional naming. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," say, "I notice I feel angry." This small shift in language creates distance between you and the emotion. It reminds you that emotions are temporary states, not your identity. You are not your anger. You are the one observing it. This mental separation helps you gain control. The moment you can see your emotion instead of being consumed by it, you create space for better choices. You also develop emotional control by reflecting regularly on your triggers. Everyone has emotional patterns formed by past experiences, and those patterns get activated in certain situations. If you're easily frustrated by criticism, ignored when speaking, or overwhelmed by pressure, these are emotional flashpoints worth understanding. Explore them without judgment. The goal isn't to eliminate triggers completely, but to respond more wisely when they arise. Awareness gives you options. Unawareness keeps you stuck in the same emotional cycles. It's important to remember that calmness doesn't mean passive acceptance of things that are wrong. Emotional control allows you to act more effectively. It helps you address problems with intention rather than impulsiveness. When you respond calmly, you're more likely to be heard. You preserve relationships. You reduce damage, and you gain respect from others and from yourself. People trust those who stay steady under pressure. Be that person. In moments of emotional stress, remind yourself that how you respond says more about you than the situation. You always have a choice. You can pour fuel on the fire, or you can cool the flame. You can create conflict, or you can create clarity. The more you practice calm responses, the more natural they become. What once took conscious effort will start to feel automatic. This is the result of discipline, reflection, and daily commitment to your own growth. Being calm doesn't mean you don't feel deeply. It means you've trained yourself not to be ruled by what you feel. It means you've decided that peace, clarity, and purpose matter more than proving a point, winning an argument, or defending your ego. This kind of maturity isn't flashy, it's steady. It shows in how you handle stress, in how you recover from mistakes, in how you deal with others. It's not about what others do, it's about who you are becoming. Each calm response is an investment in your strength. Each moment of restraint is a step toward mastery. Each time you breathe instead of break, you grow more powerful, and that power doesn't come from controlling others. It comes from controlling yourself. Every day offers opportunities to practice. Don't wait for the big challenges. Train in the everyday moments. That's where character is formed. That's where emotional control becomes real. Chapter 4. Grow your confidence by doing one hard thing daily. Confidence does not come from wishing, waiting, or hoping. It grows through effort, through showing up when it's uncomfortable, and through doing the things you once avoided. The fastest way to believe in yourself is to give yourself proof that you can handle more than your fears suggest. Every time you choose to take on a difficult task, instead of avoiding it, you send a message to your mind that you are capable. That message compounds over time until confidence becomes your natural state. It is not a gift given to a few, it is a muscle developed by those who challenge themselves daily. When you avoid hard things, you reinforce the idea that you're not ready, but when you confront them, even imperfectly, you begin to trust yourself. That trust becomes strength. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. The moment you feel hesitation, fear, or doubt, is the exact moment to act. That resistance you feel is not a sign to stop, it's a signal to move forward. The things that scare you are the things that shape you. You do not need to wait for motivation to feel right. Action builds belief. Belief builds identity. Identity builds the life you want. The key is consistency. You don't need to do something massive every day, but you must do something difficult. Something that stretches you, something that feels inconvenient, something that nudges you into discomfort. It might be a hard conversation. It might be sticking to your schedule when distractions appear. It might be saying no when you're used to pleasing people. It might be doing an extra set in your workout when your mind says stop. The size of the challenge is less important than your commitment to face it. The goal is not to be fearless. The goal is to act while you feel fear. Every hard thing you do becomes a brick in the foundation of your confidence. It teaches your brain that effort matters more than outcome, that growth matters more than perfection, that discipline matters more than ease. Confidence is not about knowing you'll succeed, it's about knowing you'll keep going, no matter the outcome. That kind of self-respect cannot be faked. It is earned in the moments when quitting feels easier, but you stay the course. It is earned in the small wins no one else sees. It is built when you choose growth over comfort. Make this a non-negotiable standard for yourself. Do one hard thing every day, not just when you feel like it, not just when it's convenient. Every single day, this discipline rewires your nervous system to feel more comfortable with effort. It builds emotional toughness. It silences the voice that says you can't, and over time, you begin to operate from a different baseline. You stop waiting for permission. You stop fearing judgment. You stop needing guarantees. You start trusting that you can figure things out. You start becoming the kind of person who handles life head-on. You don't have to announce your growth. You just have to live it. Each hard thing you face becomes part of who you are. People will notice the change, not because you tell them, but because your presence feels stronger. You'll walk differently. You'll speak with more conviction. You'll make decisions without needing constant reassurance. Confidence is quiet. It's the calm that comes from knowing you've done the work. The storms outside no longer shake you because you've already faced storms within. Understand this clearly. Confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance is pretending to know it all. Confidence is being willing to learn through struggle. Arrogance seeks praise. Confidence seeks progress. Arrogance hides behind bravado. Confidence is grounded in action. When you do hard things daily, you're not just toughening your body or sharpening your skills. You're teaching your mind that difficulty is not the enemy. You're reframing discomfort as fuel, and that shift changes everything. Start today by identifying one thing you've been putting off. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Maybe it's waking up earlier than usual. Maybe it's saying no to a habit that keeps holding you back. Maybe it's reaching out to someone, even though you fear rejection. Whatever it is, face it. Do not wait until you feel ready. The readiness comes from doing. The strength comes from choosing. And the transformation comes from showing up again and again. Over time, doing hard things becomes who you are. You stop negotiating with your excuses. You stop lowering your standards. You stop wishing things were easier and start becoming stronger. Life becomes less about avoiding pain and more about finding purpose in the challenge. The people who grow the most are not those who avoid struggle. They are the ones who step into it willingly. They know that resistance creates resilience. In this process, you'll learn things about yourself you didn't know. You'll find grit you didn't realize you had. You'll unlock new levels of mental endurance. You'll become more focused, more grounded, more decisive, and not because someone handed you confidence, but because you earned it. You showed up when it was difficult. You chose the path with resistance, and you proved to yourself that you are more than your comfort. There will be days when the hard thing feels heavier than usual. On those days, remind yourself that every step forward matters. The pace doesn't matter. The effort does. Even a small win moves you in the right direction. Even a tiny act of courage builds momentum. There is no wasted effort when it comes to building confidence. Every moment of struggle is a moment of shaping. You are becoming someone who is not afraid to face the day. When you look back after weeks and months of doing one hard thing each day, you won't recognize who you were before. You'll see a version of yourself that is more prepared, more composed, more alive. You'll have earned a self-belief that no one can take away. Not because things were handed to you, but because you met the challenge again and again. That's the kind of confidence that lasts. That's the kind of strength that inspires others. And it starts with a simple decision to do one hard thing today, then again tomorrow, and every day after. Chapter 5. Improve your focus by setting and protecting your priorities. Focus is not something you stumble into. It's a conscious decision made in a world that constantly pulls your attention in every direction. The moment you wake up, your mind is already being asked to choose between what matters and what distracts. Without clear priorities, you will spend your day reacting instead of creating. You will chase noise instead of meaning. You will check everything and complete nothing. To focus is to live with intention, to take ownership of your time, and to make choices that serve your deeper goals instead of your momentary urges. The first step to improving your focus is knowing what truly matters to you. When you're unclear about your priorities, everything feels urgent. You get caught in the trap of always being busy, but rarely being effective. You end each day tired but unsatisfied. You must begin with brutal clarity. What are the things that actually move your life forward? What are the few actions that create real impact in your work, health, relationships, and personal growth? Define them with precision. If you don't set your priorities, the world will do it for you. Once you've defined what matters, the next step is to protect those priorities with unwavering discipline. Distractions are not just random, they are designed to be addictive. Your attention is a valuable currency, and every notification, every unnecessary meeting, every meaningless scroll is trying to steal it. You must become the guardian of your time. This means setting boundaries without guilt. It means saying no without over-explaining. It means turning off what doesn't serve you and leaning into what does. Every moment you defend your focus is a moment you reclaim your life. Start by creating a daily structure that reflects your most important priorities. Don't leave your focus to chance. Block time in your day for your most meaningful work and treat it like an appointment with your future. Show up for it fully. Eliminate distractions during this time. Put your phone in another room. Close all tabs that don't relate to your task. Let others know you are unavailable. This is not about being rigid. It's about being responsible. You are building a life that reflects what matters, not what's popular, not what's trending, but what is truly aligned with your values. You must also learn to simplify. Too many people dilute their focus by trying to do too many things at once. Multitasking is not a sign of productivity, it's a form of self-sabotage. When your attention is split, your quality drops. You forget details, you make errors, you feel overwhelmed. Focus is about doing fewer things better. It's about going deeper, not wider. When you choose one thing and give it your full attention, you enter a state of flow. Time slows down, energy rises, clarity sharpens. You feel connected to your work in a powerful way. There's also power in starting your day with your highest priority. Before the world can interfere, before distractions can creep in, tackle the task that matters most. This builds momentum and sets a tone of purpose for the rest of your day. Don't wait until you're in the mood. Begin with discipline and let momentum create the feeling. Discipline creates freedom. When you finish what's essential early, you feel less stressed, more confident, and more in control of your time. Recognize that distractions are not just external, they're also internal. Mental clutter is just as harmful as digital noise. If your mind is filled with worry, self-doubt, or scattered thoughts, focus becomes almost impossible. To clear your mind, develop the habit of writing things down. Empty your thoughts onto paper each morning or evening. List out what's bothering you, what you need to remember, what you plan to do. This simple practice frees your mental space and allows you to direct your attention where it matters. Another way to sharpen your focus is to give each task your full presence. Be where you are. If you're working, work. If you're resting, rest. If you're with someone, give them your attention. Switching rapidly between tasks leaves your mind drained. It takes time to regain the depth you had before the switch. Focus is not about speed, it's about presence. When you are fully engaged, even simple tasks become meaningful. You find satisfaction not in doing more, but in doing well. You must also take responsibility for your energy. Focus is not just about managing time, it's about managing your physical and mental capacity. If you're constantly exhausted, your ability to focus will suffer. Prioritize sleep, move your body, eat food that nourishes rather than drains you. Take breaks when you need to reset. Focus is not a grind, it's a rhythm. Push when it's time to push, rest when it's time to recover. Know yourself well enough to build your day around your natural energy peaks. You will face resistance. Your mind will seek comfort, and focus often feels uncomfortable. It's easier to check your phone than to sit with an important project. It's easier to stay busy than to face what really matters. But growth never comes from easy. When you feel the urge to escape, pause. Ask yourself, is this moving me toward what I truly want? If not, return to your focus. One moment of presence is more powerful than hours of scattered effort. Over time, this way of living becomes your new normal. You no longer feel pulled in every direction. You stop confusing motion with progress. You become more intentional with your words, your actions, your commitments. You stop chasing and start building. Your priorities shape your day, and your day shapes your life. Each choice to focus is a vote for the person you're becoming, not just someone who works harder, but someone who lives with clarity, purpose, and strength. You don't need to be perfect to make progress. Some days your focus will slip. That's normal. The key is not to quit. The key is to return, refocus without guilt, recommit without drama. You are not looking for flawless execution. You are building a consistent standard, one where your actions reflect your values, one where your priorities guide your life, one where focus is not just a tactic but a way of being. You become what you consistently choose to give your attention to. If you focus on your weaknesses, they will define you. If you focus on your strengths, they will expand. If you focus on the opinions of others, you will lose yourself. If you focus on your purpose, you will find fulfillment. What you focus on grows. So guard your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Chapter 6. Expand your knowledge by learning something new each day. Learning is not limited to school, degrees, or structured environments. Real learning is a daily practice, a commitment to stretch your understanding and deepen your perspective in small but meaningful ways. It's not about volume, it's about consistency. It's not about information overload. It's about thoughtful engagement with ideas that challenge, expand, and refine your thinking. The moment you stop learning, you begin to stagnate. Growth ends when curiosity dies, and staying the same in a changing world means slowly falling behind. You don't need a classroom to become wise. You just need the will to grow one day at a time. There is something powerful about making a habit of learning. When you decide to learn something new each day, you train your brain to stay active, alert, and open. You begin to see patterns others miss. You start making connections between ideas that others overlook. This doesn't require hours of reading or complex study sessions. It can be a simple insight from a conversation, a new concept in an article, or a practical idea you test in real life. What matters most is the mindset, choosing to grow every single day, choosing to stretch your awareness instead of staying in the comfort of what you already know. Knowledge is not just about gaining facts, it's about sharpening your thinking. It's about seeing problems more clearly and solving them more effectively. It's about understanding yourself and others on a deeper level. It's about making better decisions, building stronger relationships, and handling challenges with more wisdom. When you invest in learning daily, you equip yourself with tools to navigate life more skillfully. You make fewer mistakes. You adapt faster. You become a person people trust because your thinking is grounded and your perspective is broad. One of the best ways to begin this habit is by asking better questions. Curiosity is the engine of learning. When you approach life with the attitude of a student, everything becomes a lesson. Ask yourself daily, what can I learn from this situation? What did I discover today that I didn't know yesterday? What truth challenged me today? This practice rewires your brain to seek out insights instead of judgment, exploration instead of assumption. The more questions you ask, the more open your mind becomes to new information, new experiences, and new opportunities. Reading remains one of the most powerful and accessible tools for learning. Even 15 minutes of focused reading each day can shift your mindset over time. Read from a wide range of sources. Study history to understand the patterns of human behavior. Read psychology to know how people think and why they act the way they do. Explore philosophy to anchor your values and make sense of your choices. Dive into biographies to draw lessons from real lives. Reading doesn't just give you answers, it helps you ask better questions, see deeper into life, and think more independently. Podcasts, audiobooks, and interviews are excellent tools when reading isn't practical. Use your commute or downtime to absorb useful knowledge. You don't need to memorize everything, just focus on understanding one powerful idea and consider how it applies to your life. The goal is not to accumulate trivia, but to integrate wisdom into your actions. Let what you learn change how you live. That is how knowledge becomes transformational, not just informational. Conversations can be rich sources of learning. Everyone you meet knows something you don't. Listen deeply, ask meaningful questions, be present in discussions, not just to speak but to understand. When you approach people as teachers, you develop humility, and humility opens the door to rapid growth. Instead of defending your point of view, try to expand it. Let others challenge you without feeling threatened. Growth doesn't always feel good, but it always brings you to a better version of yourself if you stay open. Make a habit of reflecting on what you've learned. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I discover today? What insight stood out? What mistake taught me something valuable? Reflection helps turn experiences into lessons. It gives your mind the time and space to connect ideas and draw meaning. Without reflection, learning is scattered. With it, learning becomes intentional and lasting. The more you reflect, the more clarity you gain, and the more prepared you become for the next challenge. You also expand your knowledge by experimenting. Try new approaches, explore unfamiliar topics, take on projects that stretch your abilities. Growth happens at the edge of your comfort zone. When you do what you've never done, you gain insight you could never get from theory alone. Experience makes knowledge real. You don't have to wait until you're an expert to begin. Start with curiosity and let trial and error be your teacher. Every attempt, whether successful or not, is a lesson that sharpens your understanding and builds your confidence. Protect your mind from information that weakens your clarity, just as you should feed your body with healthy food. Feed your mind with quality knowledge. Avoid constant exposure to negativity, gossip, shallow content, or outrage-driven media. These inputs may entertain, but they do not enlighten. They clutter your thoughts, narrow your perspective, and drain your energy. Guard your attention fiercely. Be selective about what you consume. Let your learning serve your growth, not your ego or your fears. Build an environment that supports your growth. Surround yourself with people who challenge your thinking and stretch your perspective. Create space in your day for silence, solitude, and study. Eliminate distractions that steal your focus. Growth doesn't require more time, it requires more intention. Small shifts in your daily environment can lead to massive gains in your knowledge over time. Be deliberate about the content you follow, the people you engage with, and the conversations you allow into your life. Consistency is more important than intensity. You don't need to learn everything in one day. You don't need to overwhelm yourself with information. You just need to make learning a lifestyle. Let growth be part of your identity. Be someone who is always evolving, always exploring, always seeking truth. This mindset builds quiet confidence. You no longer need to pretend you know everything. You become comfortable saying, "I don't know yet," because you trust that you will seek, and you will learn, and you will grow. When you commit to learning daily, you future-proof your mind. You stay adaptable in an ever-changing world. You remain useful, relevant, and wise in the face of uncertainty. You become more capable of solving problems, leading others, and living with purpose. You don't wait for breakthroughs. You build them day by day. You don't chase shortcuts. You master the fundamentals. You don't fear the unknown. You walk into it with an open and prepared mind. No matter where you are today, you can begin expanding your knowledge. You are not limited by your past. You are not defined by what you were taught or what you missed. You are free to grow every single day. Start small, but start consistently. Learn something today that makes you better tomorrow. Let learning shape your choices, fuel your purpose, and become the foundation of your progress. With each new idea, you gain the power to change your thoughts, your habits, and ultimately your life. Chapter 7. Take care of your body through daily movement and nutrition. Your body is the foundation for every experience you have in life. It carries you through each day, supports every goal, and silently reflects the quality of your daily habits. Taking care of your body isn't about chasing perfection or aesthetics. It's about showing respect for the vessel that allows you to think, move, work, and live with energy and purpose. The way you treat your body directly affects your clarity of thought, your emotional stability, and your capacity to handle stress. A strong mind cannot thrive in a neglected body. When you choose to care for yourself physically every day, you gain more than health, you gain freedom. Movement is a form of self-respect. It's not about intense workouts or chasing fitness trends. It's about being kind to your body by keeping it active and mobile. Daily movement tells your body that it matters. It boosts your energy levels, clears your mind, improves your mood, and reduces the weight of anxiety and tension. You don't have to follow strict routines to benefit. Walking for 20 minutes, stretching in the morning, standing instead of sitting for long hours. These are simple choices with long-term rewards. What matters is consistency, not complexity. Your body is designed to move. Stillness for long periods builds stiffness, fatigue, and discomfort that quietly wears you down. Regular movement keeps your joints healthy, your muscles strong, and your organs functioning well. It strengthens your heart and improves circulation, giving you the stamina to be more present in your life. You don't need special equipment or expensive programs. Your body is your gym. Use it, care for it, listen to it. When you move daily, you feel more alive because your body was never meant to be idle. Nutrition is fuel, not comfort. Food is often used to escape emotions or fill a void, But when you start seeing it as the foundation of your vitality, your relationship with it changes. What you eat becomes what you feel, think, and do. Real nourishment supports clarity, motivation, and strength. It helps you focus, sleep better, and recover faster from stress. You don't need extreme diets to eat well. You need awareness, intention, and honesty. The food you choose is a direct message to your body, either support or sabotage. Start with simple changes. Eat more whole foods. Choose water over sugar. Add vegetables to every meal. Reduce processed items that drain your energy. Avoid eating out of boredom. Pay attention to how certain foods make you feel after you eat them. Your body will always give you feedback if you're willing to listen. You don't have to be perfect to make progress. You just have to care enough to improve one small habit at a time. Your relationship with your body is built through your daily choices. When you skip movement, overeat, or ignore sleep, you tell yourself that other things are more important than your well-being. But your goals, dreams, and relationships all depend on your energy and clarity. Without health, every part of life becomes harder. That's why daily care is not optional, it's essential. Taking responsibility for your body is one of the most powerful acts of maturity and self-leadership. Hydration is often overlooked, but it's one of the simplest ways to support your health. Your brain, your organs, your skin, and your joints all rely on water to function well. Dehydration dulls your focus, triggers headaches, and slows you down without warning. Drink water first thing in the morning. Keep a bottle near you during the day. Make it a non-negotiable part of your routine. Small steps, repeated daily, lead to strong results over time. Rest is also part of caring for your body. Sleep is not wasted time, it is essential recovery. Without proper rest, your body can't repair, and your mind can't reset. You may be awake, but you're not fully present. Prioritize sleep as you would any important commitment. Turn off devices early. Create a quiet space. Let your body know it's safe to relax. A rested body performs better, thinks clearer, and feels more emotionally stable. There will be days when motivation is low or energy feels limited. That's normal. What matters on those days is not intensity but intention. Even 5 minutes of stretching, a short walk, or one nutritious meal can shift your state and protect your momentum. Discipline is built in the moments when you choose to care, even when you don't feel like it. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the strength of your routines. Build routines that serve you, especially when life feels heavy. Track your progress, not to judge yourself, but to stay aware. Awareness is the beginning of change. Keep a simple record of your activity, your meals, your hydration, or how you felt throughout the day. This isn't about being obsessive. It's about building a connection between your actions and your outcomes. When you see how movement lifts your mood, or how clean eating improves your focus, the motivation becomes intrinsic. You no longer rely on external pressure. You act because you've experienced the benefits directly. The goal is not to become obsessed with health. The goal is to make caring for your body a natural part of your identity. You are someone who values energy, vitality, and long-term strength. This mindset shifts your actions from chores to choices. It turns daily routines into acts of self-leadership. You begin to understand that taking care of your body is not separate from your purpose. It's part of it. A stronger body supports a stronger life. Surround yourself with people who value health. Environment influences behavior more than we realize. When you're around people who respect their bodies, it becomes easier to do the same. Share meals that nourish. Invite others for walks or workouts. Create a lifestyle where healthy choices feel normal, not forced. Community makes consistency easier, and shared progress builds powerful bonds. Avoid the trap of extremes. Don't bounce between overworking your body and completely neglecting it. Sustainable routines are the key to long-term growth. You want habits you can stick to for years, not quick fixes that fade after weeks. Start small, build slowly, stay consistent. Your future self will thank you for every day you chose to move, hydrate, rest, and eat with intention. You don't need to earn self-care. It's not a reward, it's a responsibility. You owe it to yourself to feel strong and capable. You owe it to your goals to have the energy to pursue them fully. You owe it to the people you love to show up with vitality and presence. Caring for your body is not selfish, it's wise, because everything good in life becomes better when you feel good in your body. As the days add up, you'll begin to feel a quiet power building. You'll move with more ease, think with more clarity, and live with more intention. This is the reward of small, consistent choices. You'll no longer feel like you're fighting your body. You'll feel like you're working with it, and that harmony creates confidence, resilience, and peace that cannot be faked or forced. It's built, one day at a time, by those who choose to take care of what carries them through life. Chapter 8. Nurture meaningful relationships by giving people your attention. Relationships are one of the most powerful influences in a person's life. They shape how we see ourselves, how we cope with challenges, and how deeply we experience joy. Yet in a world filled with noise and distraction, giving someone your full attention has become rare. Real connection happens not when we speak the most, but when we are fully present. To nurture meaningful relationships, we must make the decision to show up, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and intentionally. This practice begins by understanding that people don't want perfection from us, they want presence. When you listen to someone without interrupting, without waiting for your turn to speak, without looking at your phone, you give them something valuable, validation. You show them that their thoughts matter and that their presence is important. This is how trust grows, not in grand gestures but in small, consistent moments of being there. Attention is the foundation of all strong relationships, and attention is a choice you make every day. It's not about having more time, it's about giving more of yourself in the time you already have. People are drawn to those who make them feel seen. That doesn't mean you must agree with everything or always be available. It means you choose to care. You remember something they said last week. You ask how they've been without expecting a short answer. You put the phone down during a conversation. You respond with patience instead of rushing to finish the interaction. These simple acts create emotional safety, the kind that allows relationships to deepen. When someone feels safe with you, they open up. And when they open up, connection happens. Relationships can only grow when effort is mutual, but that effort often begins with one person deciding to lead with love. When you consistently give your full attention, you invite others to do the same. You set a standard for what meaningful interaction looks like. This isn't about keeping score or expecting reciprocity. It's about living with integrity, showing up as someone who values people over distractions, and building your life around what matters most. When your mind is scattered, your relationships suffer. You might be there in body, but absent in spirit. You might ask questions but not hear the answers. You might say you care but your actions say otherwise. This is where discipline comes in. You must train yourself to be mentally present. You must learn to pause, breathe, and focus on the person in front of you. If you care about someone, show it by paying attention to the details of their life. Ask questions. Remember their milestones. Notice when something feels off. This is how people feel loved, not through words alone, but through the energy behind them. Giving people your attention also means setting aside your ego. It's easy to want to prove yourself, to make your point, to be right. But real connection isn't about winning, it's about understanding. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to listen without judgment, to say nothing, but to be fully present. To hold space for someone else's experience without rushing to fix it. This level of attentiveness builds emotional intimacy that no shortcut can replace. Life moves fast, and it's easy to let relationships drift. Days become weeks, and distance grows, not always because of conflict, but because of neglect. One of the simplest ways to prevent this is to be proactive. Don't wait until someone needs you. Reach out first. Send a message. Make the call. Schedule time. Check in without a reason. These small efforts show people that they matter beyond emergencies. When you make consistent space for people, they learn to trust that you'll be there, not just when it's convenient, but because you choose to make them a priority. Attention doesn't require hours. It requires intention. Even 5 focused minutes can make someone feel loved. It's not about what you do. It's about how present you are when you do it. Whether you're having a conversation, sharing a meal, or sitting in silence, the quality of your presence determines the strength of your bond. Show up fully, not halfway. Put your phone down. Make eye contact. Listen with interest. These habits may seem small, but they build the kind of connection people remember for life. Conflict is inevitable in relationships. Attention helps prevent it from turning into resentment. When you notice a change in someone's tone, when you hear the fatigue in their voice, when you pick up on something unspoken, you can respond with care before problems grow. You can ask questions instead of making assumptions. You can clarify instead of reacting. This kind of attentiveness requires awareness and emotional maturity, but it protects your relationships from damage and strengthens your ability to resolve issues with grace. Relationships fade when attention fades. They grow when attention grows. This is not about being perfect or endlessly available. It's about showing up with intention and making people feel valued. It's about building trust through consistency, honesty, and care. When you're truly present, others feel it. Your energy says more than your words ever could. Giving people your attention also helps you grow. You learn more about others, and through them more about yourself. You learn patience, empathy, and humility. You understand perspectives that challenge your own. You realize that everyone carries invisible burdens and unspoken stories. This awareness deepens your sense of connection to humanity and brings meaning to your life in a way no amount of success can. You can't control how others show up in relationships, but you can always control how you do. You can choose to respond with love, even when it's not returned right away. You can be present even when others are distracted. You can continue to care even when it feels inconvenient. Over time, this kind of character builds relationships that last, because they're not based on convenience, but on commitment. Attention is the most valuable gift you can offer someone. Unlike money or things, it can't be bought or faked. When you give your time and energy freely, with no hidden agenda, you offer a piece of your life that is rare, that is powerful, that is what people remember. And the more you practice giving your attention, the better you get at noticing beauty in others. You see their strengths, their pain, their dreams. You appreciate them more, and they feel it. The quality of your life is shaped by the quality of your relationships. And the quality of your relationships is shaped by how present you are in them. If you want deeper connections, stronger bonds, and more meaningful moments, start with attention. Start by showing people that they matter, not just when it's easy, not just when you have time, but because it's who you are. Someone who values people enough to put the world on pause and just be there, fully, genuinely, completely, one moment at a time. Chapter 9. Create personal vision by reviewing your goals every day. Clarity is power. Without a clear vision, your energy becomes scattered. You start your days reacting to whatever shows up instead of creating the direction you want. You become busy but not effective. You may achieve small wins, but they often feel empty because they are not aligned with a deeper purpose. That's why having a personal vision is essential. It keeps your mind focused, your actions intentional, and your life in alignment with what truly matters to you. A personal vision is not just a dream. It is a clear picture of who you want to become, what you want to build, and the kind of life you are committed to living. Every day the world pulls you in 100 directions. People demand your time, distractions chase your attention, opportunities tempt you to abandon your path. If you don't remind yourself of your goals daily, you start to forget what you're working toward. You lose your edge. You begin drifting. That is why reviewing your goals every day isn't optional. It's necessary. It is how you stay grounded in your purpose. It is how you protect your priorities from the noise of the world. When you review your goals daily, you rewire your brain to focus on progress. You stop waiting for motivation and start creating momentum. You remind yourself why you started. You reconnect with your deeper reasons. You fuel the emotional drive required to keep showing up when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's slow. That daily review becomes a ritual that anchors your identity to your vision. It transforms goals from ideas into instructions. It tells your mind what to focus on. It teaches your actions where to go. Your goals must be specific. Vague wishes don't create strong direction. If your goal is to get healthy, define what that looks like. If your goal is to build a business, write out the exact outcome. The more clearly you can describe what you want, the more effectively you can work toward it. Reviewing those clear goals daily reminds your brain that this is not just a wish, it's a mission. You don't hope to reach it. You are building your life around it. Daily review also reveals when your actions don't match your vision. If your goal is growth, but your habits stay the same, the review becomes a mirror. It shows you what needs to change. It holds you accountable. It forces honesty. You can't lie to yourself for long when you read your goals every morning and see no progress. This discomfort is not a punishment. It's a gift. It brings awareness. It allows you to course correct before weeks turn into years of misaligned effort. Progress doesn't happen in big leaps. It happens in daily steps. Reviewing your goals each day reminds you to take those steps on purpose. It makes success feel less overwhelming. You don't need to change everything at once. You need to keep moving forward one decision at a time. You need to stay consistent. You need to remind yourself that every small win matters. Daily review keeps this mindset alive. It keeps you locked in on what's important, no matter how loud the distractions become. A personal vision is not rigid. It can evolve. As you grow, your priorities may shift. Your understanding may deepen. That's normal. But when you review your goals every day, you start to notice when a goal no longer fits. You don't abandon it blindly. You reflect. You assess. You adapt. You realign your energy. This process helps you stay true to your deeper values instead of chasing goals that no longer serve your highest path. Creating a personal vision starts with self-awareness. What kind of life do you want to live? What values do you want to embody? What problems do you want to solve? What kind of person do you admire? And how can you become more like them? These questions help you shape a vision that isn't based on trends, pressure, or ego. Your vision must be true to you. Otherwise, even if you achieve it, you'll feel empty. A strong vision is grounded in meaning, not just milestones. Once you define your vision, break it into goals. Then break those goals into actions. Then build a system to track those actions. That's where the daily review comes in. Each morning or each evening, sit down with your list. Read it out loud. Ask yourself what you can do today to move closer. Ask yourself what you did yesterday and what you learned from it. Keep it simple. Keep it consistent. Over time, this habit becomes a compass. It keeps you focused on your highest direction. Some people avoid reviewing their goals because it makes them feel behind. But this is exactly why you need to do it. You can't improve what you don't measure. You can't master what you don't face. Reviewing your goals is not about guilt. It's about growth. It's about ownership. You can't control the past, but you can decide how you'll respond today. That decision is where transformation begins. You may not see results immediately, but the habit of reviewing your goals shapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes for change. You become someone who creates it. This shift builds confidence. It makes you feel capable, and that inner belief carries over into every other area of life. You start speaking with more clarity. You start acting with more purpose. You become more disciplined. You waste less time. You rise to meet your own standards. The world is full of people who talk about goals, and very few who live them. The difference is not intelligence or luck. It's consistency. Reviewing your goals every day is a small act that most people ignore. But it's that small act, repeated over time, that leads to massive change. It doesn't take hours. It takes commitment. And that commitment will separate you from the average, from the distracted, from the passive. It will make you someone who leads themselves first, and then leads others through example. Even on the days you feel off track, review your goals. Especially on those days, that's when you need it most. When you feel lost, your vision brings you back. When you feel weak, it reminds you of your strength. When you feel discouraged, it connects you to your deeper why. These moments are not setbacks, they're part of the journey, and your vision is the compass that guides you through them. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start today. Write your goals, break them down, review them daily. Adjust when needed. Stay honest with yourself. Keep your vision in front of you. Make it personal. Make it powerful. Let it shape your decisions. Let it guide your energy. Let it remind you of who you are and who you're becoming. When you live with a clear personal vision and review your goals every day, you don't just survive. You lead. You don't just wish. You act. You don't just dream. You build. And in that daily discipline, you will find the confidence, clarity, and courage to live a life of purpose. Not someday, not eventually, every single day, starting now. Chapter 10. Lead your day with purpose through intentional daily actions. The way you start and lead your day determines how your life unfolds over time. Each day is not just a unit of time, it's an opportunity to shape your direction, to choose your energy, and to take deliberate steps toward who you want to become. You do not rise by accident, you rise by purpose. Leading your day with purpose means waking up knowing what matters most and acting on it before anything else takes that space. It is not about being perfect, it is about being present and intentional. Many people drift through the day reacting to everything around them. They check their phones before they check in with themselves. They rush into tasks without considering if those tasks support their deeper goals. They move fast but forget where they're going. They end the day feeling exhausted but not fulfilled, busy but not proud. This happens when there is no plan, no clarity, and no sense of purpose driving their actions. To change this pattern, you must lead your day with conscious intent. When you begin your day with clear intention, you take back control of your time, energy, and mental space. You stop running on autopilot. You stop letting distractions decide your focus. You create a structure that supports your growth instead of leaving it to chance. You give yourself direction instead of waiting for the world to give it to you. Purpose becomes your internal guide. It informs your choices and gives meaning to what you do. This doesn't mean every day needs to be packed or overwhelming. It means that what you do during the day must align with who you want to be and what you value most. Intentional action isn't about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's about choosing progress over perfection, clarity over chaos, and commitment over comfort. It's about leading your life instead of following everything that shows up on your screen or calendar. To lead your day well, you need to start with intention before anything else enters your world. This begins in the morning. When you wake up, don't rush into noise. Take a moment to reconnect with your values, your priorities, and your purpose. Ask yourself what will make today meaningful. Ask yourself how you can show up as your best self. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Make it real. This clarity will anchor you. Set a clear focus for your day. Choose 3 priorities that matter most. These are not just tasks, they are commitments that move you toward your bigger goals. When you know your priorities, you know what to say no to. You stop filling your day with distractions disguised as obligations. You protect your focus. You create boundaries. You simplify your decisions. You give your energy to what truly counts. Being intentional means recognizing the power of small actions. Most people wait for big moments to feel successful, but purpose is built in the daily decisions most people overlook. Choosing to reflect instead of react. Choosing to learn instead of scroll. Choosing to follow through instead of make excuses. These moments may feel small, but they build character, discipline, and momentum. When you practice them daily, they shape who you become. You will face interruptions, challenges, and unexpected turns. That's life. But purpose is what helps you respond rather than react. It gives you the ability to adapt without losing your center. When you know why you're doing something, it's easier to stay grounded during the chaos. You don't get pulled off course every time things don't go as planned. You adjust, but you don't drift. You stay committed, even when it's uncomfortable. Your environment plays a role in this. If your space is filled with clutter, your mind will reflect that. If your schedule is overloaded with distractions, your energy will be drained. Intentional living requires intentional design. Build a space that supports your focus. Create a routine that eliminates decision fatigue. Remove temptations that pull you away from your goals. Make it easy to do the right thing. Make it hard to get distracted. Another powerful way to lead your day with purpose is by setting a standard for how you want to show up. Not just what you want to do, but who you want to be. Are you committed to being calm under pressure? Are you focused on bringing value to others? Are you living with discipline and integrity? Set these internal standards before the day tests you. When challenges come, you won't need to guess how to respond. You've already decided. It's also important to reflect at the end of the day. This is where awareness deepens. Ask yourself what you did well. Ask yourself what you could have done better. Identify what moved you forward and what held you back. This is not about guilt. It's about growth. The goal is not perfection. The goal is improvement. This reflection helps you close the day with clarity and begin the next one with purpose. Leading your day is not a one-time effort. It's a practice. Some days you will feel off. Some days you'll miss the mark. That's part of the process. What matters is that you come back to your intention, that you keep recommitting, that you build the habit of starting each day with direction and ending each day with awareness. Over time, this practice transforms how you think, how you act, and how you live. Don't wait for the perfect morning routine. Don't wait until life calms down. Start where you are, with what you have. Set one clear intention. Focus on one priority. Take one aligned action. That's how you build momentum. That's how you shift from reacting to leading. You don't need more time. You need more clarity. You don't need to be more productive. You need to be more purposeful. People who lead their days intentionally stand out. They don't chase every trend. They don't waste energy on things that don't matter. They are calm under pressure because they've trained their mind to focus. They make progress because they've built the discipline to follow through. They create impact because they've learned to lead themselves first. And that leadership doesn't come from luck. It comes from daily choices. This way of living is not just about achievement. It's about alignment. It's about knowing that you're spending your time in ways that reflect your values, that your days are not being wasted on things that leave you feeling empty, that you're building something real, even if the results take time to show. Purpose gives every effort meaning, and that meaning gives you the fuel to keep going when it's hard. Every day is a chance to lead yourself with intention, to create order from chaos, to find direction in a noisy world, to act with clarity, and to build with consistency. This is how lives change, not in dramatic events, but in quiet, consistent, and intentional actions repeated over time. This is the way to live a life that matters. One day at a time, one decision at a time, one purpose-led action at a time.